This is flaking paint, also known as peeling paint. In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix it. Step 1, you need a paint scraper to scrape it off. Once you start scraping, you might scrape off a larger area than you expected. Don't be surprised, it's very common. I'm using a Monarch 38mm scraper. Step 2, sand the surface and smooth out the rough edges with a sanding paper or sponge. And wipe away dust with a damp microfiber cloth. I'm using Trojan sanding sponge, 220 grit rating for a smoother finish. You can also use a medium grit like 120. The sponge has an angle design which may or may not be helpful. We'll see. If there are holes and cracks, you will need to patch it up with a suitable filler. Wait until it's dry and sand the area again. I probably won't need it, but I bought it anyways just in case. It's a spec filler from Sally's. It starts with pink color, and when it's dried, it will turn white. It comes with this pink plastic scraper, which is very thoughtful. Step 4. Apply primer with a brush to allow the paint to adhere better. I'm using Dulux one-step prep. It's mold resistant. Step 5. Apply paint with a brush, preferably with 2 coatings. I'm using Dulux Sealing White Plus for kitchen and bathroom. It's mold and bacteria resistant. For brushes, I'm using Monarch Expertech. Before I start, I use a masking tape to protect the surrounding area, and used a drop sheet to protect the walls and the floor from paint spill.
Before you start, don't forget to wear a mask and gloves. Bloody hell, I cannot wear my glasses with this mask.
Don't worry, I have plenty masks. Now let's get started. Seems like it's not a large area. As you can see, the area is quite small and there are no cracks or holes, so we don't need the filler. If we look to the left of the flaking paint, the previous paint job wasn't done properly either. Let me fix this area altogether. Now wipe with a damp cloth. Now it's time to apply the first coat of paint. Now it's time for the second coat. Now the paint job is finished. It's going to take 24 hours before I can use it again. So how am I supposed to take the shower tonight? Wait a minute, I can use the office shower. I'm sure Jimmy wouldn't mind, right? Let's go. Thank you, Jamie. Love you. The paint job is completed. The problem is there's a difference in the color. That's a bit awkward. Last time I fixed the flaking paint, but I made a small mistake with the color. My beauty manager was kind enough to send me the correct paint code, Lexicon Half, Low Sheen. Now that I got the correct paint from Dulux, Lexicon Half, Low Sheen, Wash and Wear Plus Kitchen and Bathroom, which is mold and bacteria resistant. I'm ready to fix it for good. This time I'm going to sand off the existing paint, apply some filler to smooth out the uneven surface, apply 1 coat of prime and 2 coats of paint. Last time I used 220 grit sanding sponge. It was too fine and too soft. This time I'm using the Rocket sanding kit. It has sanding sheets from 80 to 240 grit. I'll start with the 80 grit to speed up the sanding process and finish off with the 240 to give it a smoother finish. It is double-sided and I'm going to use the hard side to make it more efficient. Last time I used a blue drop sheet which has a very strong plastic smell. This time I'm using the green one which is plant-based. Hopefully this one doesn't smell. Now the scene is fully protected. And the green sheet does smell so much better. This is how it looks like after applying the filler. It starts with pink, and when it dries, it will turn white. After applying the filler, the surface is not very smooth. Before applying the primer, I need to give it a little bit sanding. Now it's a lot smoother than the first time, and it's ready for the primer. Now that the primer has dried up, it's time to apply the first coat of paint. Don't worry about the blue color near the corner. It's just the reflection of the blue tape. It's almost done. Time for the second coat. The paint has dried up, but there are some brush marks. Let me try to sand it with the 220 grit sanding paper. Imagine if I didn't use the drop sheet, it would be a huge mess. It's done. Nice job. I'm such a handyman. A few takeaways. At the first time I skipped the step of applying the filler. I thought the paint itself would be able to smooth out the painted surfaces, but it didn't. At the second time I applied the filler and the result was so much better. After you apply the first coat of paint, while waiting for it to dry up, you can take the time to wash the brush. If you use a brush with dried paint residual, it will affect the paint quality. Before you buy an apartment in Australia, be aware that 97% of them are defected. Make sure you set aside enough money to fix all the problems. I mean, lots of money. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. You gotta be kidding me, there's another one.